In this video we'll be going over liquidity zones. So sorry about having not created a video in a few weeks. I had some exams at school, so I'm just going to start up the videos again. So we have, so pretty much, so today we'll be talking about liquidity zones. So liquidity zones, so we're going to be discussing kind of more so on the smaller time frames, so like the intraday time frames, such as like 1, 3, 5, 15, maybe 30. So pretty much just within the session. So what's a session? So a session is, so for example, we have the, well, what's the start of the day? So the start of the day is, so the new trading day starts, well, for Forex it starts at, it starts in Asia. So the Asian session starts at, what time? So my time is Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, we'll just go with the East Coast time. So the East Coast time, or EST, which is I think it's UTC -4. Let's see. Yeah, so New York is UTC -4. So in that case, that would be, that seems wrong. Is that actually right? I don't think that's actually correct. The reason is, so it's showing me 1400 hours for my time, which is 2 p.m. For the Asian session. So I think that's just the new day rollover. I think it is still the Asian session, but there's that 1 hour where where brokers kind of have that high spread time. So kind of in there, so spreads are kind of, they're usually pretty high during that time. So when I did create a bot, I had the bot to actually just ignore this time here. So that 1 hour between, so in New York time, it would be between 5 p.m. or and 6 p.m. So that is in military time, that would be like 5 or 1700 to 1600 hours, I think, because that's what the TradingView time is as well. It's in military time, or it's by 24-hour. It's by the 24-hour clock. Okay, so the Asian session is, for example, Pacific. I'll just go with my time, so it's going to be 1500 hours, which is 3 p.m. in the afternoon till like 12 p.m. or 11:59 p.m. That'll be right before the London session. Okay, so that's the Asian session. Of course, there's other sessions in between that session. So there's, well, that's just the main session. So stock traders, don't worry, I'll try to get to the New York session in a sec. So we have that. So again, the Asian session is divided between like Sydney, Japan, China, but pretty much it's all, I just think of it in Forex as just the Asian session. So that's just pretty much that session. So let's look at, in that case, let's pretend we were at the Asian session a few days ago. And now then it goes to the London session. Okay, so what time does the London session start? So the London session starts at, sometimes there's an overlap as well. So does Asia have an overlap? I don't think it does. I'm just starting to look at these times more in depth. I'll tell you the reason why in a sec. So pretty much, so we have the London session starting at, So it's my time or Pacific time, which is like Vancouver, California, Oregon, Seattle time. It's starts at the new day, well, the actual new day, so that's at 0000 hours, so that's going to be 3 a.m. New York time. So for London people, I think it's 8 hours ahead of my time. So if you're confused with your hours, you can just click that, and hopefully you can see that time zone in the bottom right hand corner of TradingView. It'll tell you what time zone you're in, or you can change it to whatever time zone you want. Some brokers will be in a different time zone, like I think the one I used was in Greenwich time, or something like that. What was it? It was +4 or something. Some time zone in Greenland. I'm not sure why they went with that. That's just where their time zone's set to. But anyways, if you're confused, you're not sure what time zone your broker is, you can always just ask them. Greenwich Mean, something like that. Not sure what it is. Anyways, we'll just go with that. So the time, so London and New York overlap. So New York goes from, let's just say my time, 0000 hours to 5 a.m. But there's a stock overlap. So there's a stock market overlap between then. So that's going to be this. You can see the orange line overlap with the blue line. To use that indicator, it's by Lux Algo Sessions. You can customize what you want with it. I think I've taken something out. I can't remember what I took out. Was it like the main panel or something? Dashboard. I think I took away the dashboard. Took away the dashboard because it's like a big block thing there. So I just took it away. And I edited the times. I tried to change the session from Asia, or sorry, from Sydney and Japan and China to just one flat Asia session. If you're trading stocks, you may have your own setup, whatever. So that's just the way it is. So there's an overlap here for when the stock market opens. I guess the forex market also is the same. There's an important detail that we'll look at in a sec. Anyway, so we'll just look at the Asian session here. So actually, yeah. So let's just look at what's happening today. Anyways, people might want to know. So this box tells you the high and the low, and I think I just have a VWAP in the middle. And I just have volume here, so volumes, so just your standard volume. I can just try to show that. I think it does show that. I think there's also an option to add a VWAP to this. Maybe not. Okay, so I might have just an extra VWAP on there. You can just add one just by clicking on indicators. So anyways, we have the high here and the low. So it's just been having a high and a low. So how is this useful in regards to liquidity zones? So it's useful because so we could, let's just pretend we have the high doesn't change, which looks like it's possible, but not for sure. We'll just say that so what am I looking at? I'm looking at the Euro USD on the 15-minute chart. So you have that level. I can't see what that is. What is it? 1.05 or something like that. So we have that pretty much. It's just a high sitting there. So that's a liquidity zone. So when can we use that liquidity zone? So let's just pretend. So the way that we could use a liquidity zone is, well, you can use it now in the current session. So why is the liquidity zone important? The liquidity zone is important because banks are looking at this level for buy side and sell side liquidity. So it's a level of liquidity. So I believe the current low is also a level of liquidity. So that's also telling banks that perhaps there's longs have stops below that levels. So let's just pretend we're looking at this high here. So we have perhaps shorts with stops above that line. Perhaps maybe up here, probably not too far. You can maybe use an ATR to see. That might help, but mostly probably just above that line, probably not too far for stops. Maybe 10 pips or something at the most. A bit anywhere between like a pip and 10 pips or something like that. And on the flip side, we could just say we have a low here, and let's just pretend we have a low there or something, so we have stops below that line as well. Banks may be looking to long your stops and whatnot. So pretty much that's just the liquidity zones we have now. So when else is this? Sorry, I'm making it kind of small. I can't make that. I'm not sure why that title of the Asian session is actually so small. I'm not sure. It's the same for like London and New York as well. Anyways, this is the Asian session here in that like yellow line or something. In sorry, the yellow box. Or is that? I think it is yellow. Okay, so we have pretty much that's it. So when else are these liquidity zones used? So they're also used in the next session. So they can be used in the London session as well, which is in an like 50 minutes or so. 49 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. Okay, so we could say that these liquidity levels are still used in the next session as well. So we could just say pretend, okay, so the New York, sorry, not the New York session, so the London session has started. Okay, so banks are looking at this level here for liquidity. They're looking for buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, buy stops, sell stops, pretty much everything right there. Perhaps they're long, perhaps they're short, just depends on the strategy. But that is a liquidity zone or a liquidity level. So on the flip side, pretend the session started already, so this low would be a liquidity zone for the London session once it starts. So we'd say, okay, well, the London session has started. We're now going back to the Asian session to look at the key liquidity zones or levels, which are here at 1.05333 and 1.05508. So and then on the flip side, or in another case, not the flip side, but we could say, okay, well, let's just pretend we went back 24 hours. So we're here, we're saying, okay, we're at the London session, so we have a high, where is it actually? Did that wick go all the way up? Let me turn this off for a sec. Okay, I think the London session stopped right there before the overlap. So somewhere around there. Let's just pretend it's there exactly. So it's 1.05299. And the low was for the session. Where's the low? I can't even see that with the volume. So let me just turn these on. It should be on. Everything should be on. So where's the button for that? There it is. Okay. So we have, I just turned the volume off by clicking that I symbol, or the I button, and then the I button here to toggle them on or off. So you have the low, actually it was here. I think before the overlap, the low was here. I'm actually, my friend's getting me to kind of work on this with him, so we're trying to code up something here. So we have, so for example, we have the low at 1.05012, so that's where banks are setting their liquidity. Like obviously multi-billions and trillions of dollars are sitting at these levels, whether for buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity, but those are just the key zones and levels. So in this case, the London sessions liquidity zones are useful within the same session, or it would also be useful in the New York session. So as you can see, this first line here, the white line there, it was broken to the upside. So as you can see, it broke up to the upside and then hit that level, which was the New York session high, and has come down back to the previous day's London's sessions high. So those are levels of liquidity. Other key levels that you might want to check out are the daily high, the daily low, the weekly high, the weekly low, the monthly high, the monthly low, and the yearly high and the yearly low. Probably not all of them, perhaps at least the daily high and the weekly high. But those levels, the other levels that I mentioned as well, are also key levels of liquidity. So I think we'll pretty much just leave it there for that one. So hopefully you learned something. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Thanks.